What it do, everybody? It's your boy, Creamy Chris, back at it again with another Puro Paisa Productions video. As you can see, we're gonna be doing something new with this video. Rather than a tier list or rather than some background lore, I decided to play a little game of who is that Pokemon, comparing your favorite characters from the game to Pokemon in the real world. So this idea came up during the Pornhub live stream, as you guys know, during the Q&A. After the question regarding about anal beads and your girlfriend, someone asked, when is the next video gonna come out and what is it gonna be about? And some people were saying Harry Potter, some people were saying new sex moves, some people were talking about docking, and some interesting fucker said, hey, let's do a video about Pokemon. So why not? Pokemon is a pretty nice topic to talk about, and why not make it a bit more interesting, comparing people as to what Pokemon they look like who. So I went ahead and made a list of who looks like what, and I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. So without further ado, let's dive right into this. So as you can see, the title screen, who is that Pokemon? Puro Paisa edition. That's a pretty cool looking Pikachu, if I do say so myself. It doesn't look stupid in any way. I think it's a pretty normal functioning Pikachu, but I think that's just the title screen. So let's start. So first we got Kevin, Master of Chinks. So who does he look like? I mean, let's think about it. Who does Kevin look like, or what does Kevin look like? He does say he is Chinese. So, I think that kind of boils it down to I think it's a pretty obvious pick. So, let's see who he is, man. Makohita. I see. I'm pretty sure you're able to see. I mean, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. If you think about it, that's pretty Chinese if you ask me, man. Fucking dumpling looking head ass over here. Pretty sure Kevin eats dumplings. If you know what I mean, he eats ass because he eats ass. And look at those fists. A martial artist. Kevin is also a black belt. So I think this kind of meshes well between the Spider-Verse. So yeah, I think this is a good pick. It looks exactly like Kevin. I can't even tell the difference between these two. They look exactly the same. So I think this was a pretty good pick. Let's keep moving. So we got Matthias, the Desert Runner. So who does Matt look like? I was talking about this to a pretty nifty person back in the uncharted lands of the Foghorn Kingdom, and we were talking about Pokemon typings. Dark, steel, fire, grass, water. I was like, I think Matt is so all over the place that you can't really list him in a specific place. I think if anything, Matt's probably a normal type Pokemon. And there's so many normal type Pokemon, but who does Matt mostly resemble? And then that's when I came up with the idea. He looks like Smeargle. I think Matt looks like Smeargle. I mean, look at that. The top part of Smeargle's head looks like Matt's hair when Matt is done exercising, because it just falls over his head. I think this is a perfect representation of Matt. Just look at him. Beautiful. Exactly the same. They could be twins, but I don't know. I think twins is pushing it. So let's move on to Rohandius the Quiet. Look at that faggoty ass face. Pretty gay. Doesn't even get extreme fades during the quarantine. So I'm pretty sure he is pretty fucking gay. But I guess let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he will get an extreme fade once when he goes back to Riverside. Hopefully, if not, he's gonna be the king of fags forever. So what does Rohan look like? This was a pretty tough one. There aren't that many Pokemon that kind of capture Rohan's image in a specific way. It was very hard. I think out of everybody, it took me the longest amount of time to understand who Rohan portrays in the Pokemon world. And after 10 hours of searching for who he looks like, I think I boiled it down to the right Pokemon. So Rohandius looks like Pidgeotto. I mean, look at it. The high fade on the head, and look at his nose. The man has a big ass, huge ass nose, man. It's pretty big, pretty gay. I think this kind of meshes well with Rohan. It looks exactly like Rohan. Rohan looks like a fucking bird. A fucking bird ass motherfucker. Pretty gay too. But Pidgeotto's pretty cool, so I think Rohan, because of this, probably gets pushed up to a B tier. He's a safe character. A tier maybe, but that's a whole different video for a whole different time. So yeah, I think that's a safe bet. So let's keep it moving. So we got George the Womanizer Peralta. Oh man, dude, this guy. There's a lot of options to choose from. Back in the old days, a lot of people were saying that he looks like a lizard. He looks like fucking Randall. He looks like Inteleon. And then I was like, yeah, Rohan does look like Inteleon, and that would have been like the easiest pick. He also reminds me of Kecklon. But I felt like that was too obvious, and I felt like it lacked some type of creativity. And then I really dove down into the whole Pokemon lore, and I found a Pokemon that a lot of you are gonna agree that George looks like. So without further ado, George looks like Bellsprout. Now you can't tell me that George does not look like Bellsprout. Look at it. It's exactly the same. From the DSL to the awesome, muscular, thin body of his, this is the perfect representation of who George is in the Pokemon world. I mean, you can't really tell the difference. Not much of these Pokemon you can tell the difference from the people we just compared. I think this is like the perfect representation of who George is. Pretty amazing. So yeah, let's move on. So we got InderPreet, President of Canada. So what does he look like? I mean, look at him. Raving, dashing fellow, has a lot of hair, has a pretty cool looking hat. This one was hard because there's like two options that I wanted to put, but I felt like one weighs over than the other, so I ultimately chose just one Pokemon. So after thinking of it long and hard, I think InderPreet, Singlali, the President of Canada, looks like Mega-ALAH Kazam. I'm pretty sure that does do him justice. Look at that beard. Preet is gonna have an amazing beard once when he grows up, just like that. I guess you could say he's a little boklagi, am I right? Yeah, it does look like Preet a lot. I'm pretty sure this one really captures the inner preetiness of him. So yeah, I think this was a good pick. So let's keep moving. Now we got for this one I wanted to do something different. So we got two different Bretts. The one we knew in the beginning and the one we knew up until current events. So we got Brett the Coochie Destroyer and Brett the Finger. So who do these two look like? I had some fun looking at these because I had a perfect ideas for one and the other. So this was kind of easy yet a little difficult to kind of try to put into pictures. So without further ado, I think the first Brett and the second Brett look like Pangaro and Snorlax. You can't tell me that the first Brett looks like Pangaro. Come on, he's Filipino, he's pretty fucking gay, and he's Asian. So he's a panda. And a pretty strong panda too. The guy did break the world record for most deadlifts in 2 minutes. And then, I think he kind of, evolved into a Snorlax, That's still cool. Snorlax is a pretty cool Pokemon. Just look at him. He's just vibing right there. I think this was a pretty good pick. I really like it. It really captures both Brett on his good days and his bad days. The light and the dark. The gay and the straight. The fingerer and the fingeree. I think this was a good choice. Yeah. So let's move on. So next we got Nathan, ruler of the continent. This was pretty difficult. There was a lot of Pokemon that you could have chosen. Just because he's all over the place, and it's really hard to put him down into one specific Pokemon. But I think after multiple events that occurred during our time in Riverside, I believe I found the perfect Pokemon that represents, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys will agree, that he resembles a Slowpoke. I mean, look at that. Look at that. You cannot tell me they do not look the same. Honestly, the Slowpoke is the perfect representation of who Nathan can be. Just look at that face. both menacing, nerves of steel. I think this is probably the closest one out of all of the ones that we have gone so far. I think this one's even closer than George being the Bellsprout. So let's move on to Nate, the mystical one. So I think this one was probably one of the more interesting ones to, write about. He really does portray a lot of qualities that make you think that, whoa, he could be this Pokemon, whoa, he could be that Pokemon. So I chose 2 Pokemon that represent Nate in the best ways possible. So Nate is a Psyduck and a Bidoof. Now let me explain this one. First, let's go with the obvious one, Bidoof. That is Nate as a Pokemon. Nate reincarnated as a Pokemon when he dies. Look at that. You cannot tell me that does not look like Nate. That is a perfect representation of Nate. And the Psyduck, think about it. Psyduck is one of the more weakest yet strongest Pokemon in the Pokemon universe, the Pokeverse. Now look at that face. It just screams mystery, just like this one. You never know whatever he has planned in the deep mechanisms that are his mind. So I think these 2 Pokemon perfectly combine together, Psyduck and Bidoof, combine to make Nate the mystical one. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you agree or disagree or have any other comments regarding of the Pokemon, please leave your comments down below. The channel is always busy, but we'll get to it. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If not, you a bitch ass bitch. And just stay safe and Pok lagi chapkar. Am I right or am I right? All right, everybody. Take care.